Let's talk.
Giles Brown.
It is that time of the show when I bring in my friends from Spence Clarke. They're taking me gently by the hand through the labyrinth of the Spanish tax system. If you want to get your questions in, here are the numbers. We will take calls and we'll also answer WhatsApp. So here we go. These are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
And I'm joined in the studio by the most stylish man in the giving us advice on the Spanish tax system. Miguel Angel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Giles. Good morning.
Looking very sharp as always. I don't know how you do it. You've got gemelos on, you've got cufflinks on as well.
As you know, the face for the radio.
The face for the first time, so we're going to treat him very gently. Francisco Jose, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Nice to see you.
And what is your role? What is your position at Spence Clarke?
I'm actually tax and legal advisor at Spence Clarke.
But he's a child. He's a child.
I'm a child man.
I know we're in the first thing of youth.
Can I tell you a secret?
You can tell me a secret.
1 year ago, we both played a paddle competition.
Yeah.
We won, and in the prize given, the organizer asked me, "Is he your son?" so he's 31 years old. It was his birthday yesterday.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, yes, I could be his father, but I'm also very young.
Yes, indeed. We're all very young. It's clean living. So, talking about clean living, today we're looking at another aspect of our favourite subject. We're looking at corporate income tax rates from 2025 onwards. So let's start with, what's going to happen? Miguel Angel, what's going to happen with company taxation from 2025? What's happening?
Yeah, what's happening? Why Miguel Angel this time is bringing good news for us?
Really?
Yes, it is. This is a recent change in legislation in the corporation tax law, applicable from 1st of January 2025. Spain has decided to implement an unprecedented tax reform to reduce. And I repeat, to reduce the corporation
This is the tax system.
Rates. Amazing, isn't it? Wow. The corporation tax rates for certain type of companies is going to be progressively reduced so that they can have more money to invest in technology, employment, etc. Let's not forget that the current corporation tax rate, the general one, is 25% on the profits.
And we're going to come on to what small and micro company in a minute. We'll talk about what they are. So,
exactly.
So is this going to come in straight away?
Well, not really. This is the other thing. But it will be implemented gradually. Every year, these corporation tax rates are going to be reduced between 2025 and 2029. So that all companies can make the very important and necessary planning to check if and when it's going to be more beneficial for them.
To get the strategy go. Now, something struck me because micro companies now. So what companies are going to or can possibly benefit from this reduction in tax?
Small and medium-sized companies, not large companies. Let's not forget that between 90 and 95% of the number of companies we have in Spain are small companies. So it is the reality of the country. So the Spanish government this time, they want to benefit and stimulate the growth for these companies so that they can compete in better conditions. The tax benefit is targeted for two different type of companies. One is what we call the small or medium-sized companies, and this is defined in the law for the companies whose annual turnover for the previous year, so the income, is less than 10 million euros.
That's a small company.
That is a small, medium-sized company.
Right.
And then we have the so-called micro companies, or very small companies, which are the companies with an annual income turnover of less than 1 million euros in the previous year. which is the majority of the
So it
company.
doesn't matter how many people you've got working for you.
It doesn't
it's
matter.
it's about turnover.
This is purely corporation tax, and the only condition, remember, every time we talk, whenever they put something which is an incentive, they give you lots of conditions so that you miserably fail.
With one hand they give, with the other hand...
But this time it's only one condition, which is the annual income. For small companies, small, medium-sized companies, turnover less than 10 million. For micro companies, very small companies, annual turnover of less than 1 million euros, you can benefit from that. Again, these categories of companies would have a progressive reduction on their corporation tax rates, and obviously the benefit will be for these micro companies.
Okay, so Francisco Jose. Yeah, he says. The first question then, here we go. What is the tax rate for small companies?
Yeah, for small companies, that's it. Companies with an annual income less than 10 million euros will see a gradual reduction in the tax rate as follows. So before 2025, the applicable tax rate was 25%. Okay, that's the general tax rate. For 2025, the applicable tax rate is 24%. Okay, So continue. 2026, the applicable tax rate is 23%. Then 2027, the applicable tax rate is 22%. It's a good reduction.
Yeah.
2024, the applicable tax rate will be 21%. And finally...
28,
yeah. And finally, from 2029 onwards, the applicable tax rate will be 20%.
So Hacienda aren't taking a big sword and going, right, bam!
Exactly.
They wouldn't be, they're doing it little by little.
Yeah.
It's a 5% reduction from 25 to 20. Right. It would have been great if that had happened in one single year, but everything helps, believe me.
So this is a great incentive?
Yeah. This 5 percentage point reduction is a great incentive for small companies, which will be able to reinvest this resource in expansion, recruitment, or technology innovation, maybe.
Okay, so that's the small companies.
Exactly.
And now I've learned something new today, micro companies.
Yeah.
So what is going to be the tax for micro companies then?
Well, yes, we have already had this concept of micro companies for a few years. But, and the corporation tax rate was not 25, was 23%. Right. I think that it's applicable since 2024. Again, not bad. And then we are going to have the same gradual corporation tax reduction. This is a little more complex, but also beneficial. For this current year, the tax rate will be 21% only for the first 50,000 euros of profit and 22% for the balance.
Okay.
Está muy bien.
Yeah.
Next year, 2026, 19% for the first 50,000 euros and 21% for the balance. Excellent. And from 2027 and onwards, it will be 17% only for the first 50,000 euros and 20% for the balance. Not bad. And this is only in 3 years.
Yeah. I can kind of see the argument for doing it that way on the 50,000 rather than just going bam, 17%.
Nothing is done because someone wakes up in the morning and say, I want to apply for that. There are lots of statistical reports, analysis made by the Spanish tax office, and they have seen that a great number of companies, small companies, their turnover or the profit, in fact, is less than 50,000 euros. So they are trying to give these benefits for these companies, because we always have to help Spanish companies to grow up, so that in future, the more resources they have, they can employ more staff, they can compete better. You know, where I know you are looking at me thinking, but this is Mr. Miguel Ángel who always is blaming the tax office on everything.
How long have we known each other? A long time.
Years.
Right, so. This is a new, caring Hacienda system. This worries me. This whole thing about, helping businesses, I mean, it's wonderful. Do not get me wrong.
Great, yeah.
But giving small businesses, which are the heartbeat of any economy, giving them a chance to reinvest and plan ahead is something quite, because
absolutely
before, in the 10 years ago, the Hacienda were like, well, bam, multa, embargo. It was almost like an obstruction to starting your own business. But with this, it gives small businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. It is obvious that large companies have their own incentive. They have all these helps that they are receiving.
They have longer lunches.
And it's about time that the Spanish businesses also receive tax incentives and have some weapon just to compete and grow.
So, very important part of the Spanish industry or the Spanish economy is property companies. So, what is going to happen? How does this apply to property companies? Because an awful lot of property companies here maybe have explain how it.
Yeah, a property company is an investment entity. That companies that purchase properties, keep them as an investment, put them for rent, business activity. And by definition, property companies are those ones whose main assets are properties, more than 50%. But no changes for property companies. Corporation tax will remain at 25%. Nice and simple. Right. That said, the status of a property company can change from one year to the other. I'll give you an example. If you have a portfolio of properties in a company that you are dealing for rent, you can change the status of being a trading entity, just employing one staff, putting the properties for rent, providing services like hotels, or even if you have several plots of land and you want to start a development, then you change your status. That the reason I'm saying that is that even if a company has the status of a property company, in a few years' time it can change its status of that of trading and then enjoy the benefits of these reduced corporation tax rates. That's another idea for these traders just to...
I've had a thought.
Tell me.
Okay, sorry, I've had a thought. This happens very rarely. So if you are a small company and then you become, like in the last year or 2 years, a micro company, how are they going to... You would have to inform the tax office that we had a turnover of this and now we have a turnover of that. So we have gone from being a small company to a micro company and therefore we'll be taxed on the micro company rate for those years.
Exactly. Yeah? It is because all companies, regardless of their status, they have to file corporation tax declarations every year. And this is when you inform the tax office of which has been your tax status. Also, when a company which is dormant or has the status of a property company wants to start a business activity, they have to file informative tax declarations to inform the tax authorities of the activity that they are going to carry out. So there is a number of tax filing obligations to be made just to make sure that everything is done by the book and there are no surprises from the tax authorities.
952-78-4000 is the phone number. studio@tre.radio is the email if you've got a question for the panel. How does the corporate income tax then? How does that rate with other countries?
Yeah, let's talk about a selection of 8 countries. Okay. First of all, Germany. In Germany, the general tax rate is 30%. So it's a higher tax rate in comparison from Spain, for example. Let's talk about from France. Mm-hmm. In France, the general tax rate is 25%. However, there is a reduced rate of 15% for companies with revenues of less than 10 million euros, but only on profits of up to 2,500 euros.
And then it would go up to...
Exactly, to the general tax rate.
Right.
Let's talk about for Italy. In Italy, the general tax rate is 24%. Mm-hmm. It's similar than the general tax rate from Spain. Mm-hmm. United States of America.
Must we? Yeah, okay, go on then.
USA.
Yeah, okay.
The tax rate is between 21% and 29.87%. It depends or depending on the state where the company is domiciliated.
So that kind of like when we have the hunter. No, not you're shaking your head at me, isn't it? Okay, fine. I'll be quiet.
Americans like percentage.
Okay, yeah. But a lot of people think about Portugal and they think of Spain or Portugal. So what's the tax rate? What's the general tax rate in Portugal?
In Portugal, the general tax rate is 21%. However, in Madeira, it's 20%, and Azores is 16.8%.
Yes, something similar as what we have in the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
For example,
the Azores. That's the Azores. I can't even remember where the Azores are. Anyway, so yeah, but there is a reduction as well. Huh?
Exactly. However, there is a reduced rate of 17% on taxable income up to 50,000 for small companies. Only for small companies. Okay, and for example, Canada. Let's talk with Canada. Up to 500,000 Canadian dollars, okay, the applicable rate is between 11 and 13%, depending on the federal territory where the company is domiciliated.
Yeah.
The difference is taxed at a rate between 23 and 27%.
Okay.
So that's the general for the difference, okay? Let's talk about Ireland.
Our favorite.
Our favorite, yes.
Okay, as the St. Patrick.
Because it has the lowest
I was
tax
just
rate.
looking. I just went, okay. So Ireland. Come on, what's the tax? What's the general tax rate in Ireland?
The general tax rate is 12.5%. However, certain types of income, such as interest or rents, are taxed at a general tax rate of 25%.
12.5%.
It depends on the income.
Yeah, and last one, UK.
Oh,
yes. Okay.
It is between 19 and 25%. It used to, I think that they have increased the corporation tax rates very recently because of the last budget. So they have increased in summary, or as a reflection that Francisco and I have made, the Spanish government, we can see that they have made the effort to reduce the tax rates compared to other countries that apparently the trend nowadays is to increase the taxes. So as, for example, the UK has done. But also the second reflection is Spain is also making these adjustments to be more competitive with the other countries in their environment, because Italy has the 24% corporation tax rate, Portugal has 21%, and therefore they have to adjust these tax rates which have been there sitting and change it for many years. And it is another way not only to stimulate the internal Spanish economy, it's also to attract investors outside Spain to make this country more attractive in terms of taxation, business and facilities.
Interesting. It's good they're trying to get businesses in here as well, when just saying get individual, because we always talk about residents coming here, here's my favourite word, the grandes fortunas, etc., with the thought that if you get rich people buying property here, but this is it makes jobs, but this is a more direct way of attracting business. How do you think this change is going to affect the business environment, the ecosystem?
Okay, the reduction of corporate tax for small and micro companies, it's a competitive advantage for the sector. I think that some of the benefits at the macroeconomic level include as follows. First of all, it allows a greater investment in innovation and development. With lower taxes, companies can allocate more resources to improving their products and services. So it's a good consequence. Secondly, it allows more employees to be hired. By reducing the tax pressure, companies can hire more staff and expand their activity.
I'm in shock. I'm just, this is good stuff. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Can you think of any other consequence, Miguel Ángel?
Yes, thank you, Fran.
You guys are panel. That's like backhand. That's like
no. He said the most important ones. Innovation, development, more cash flow available to employ quality staff, increase the salaries, invest in technologies, and think about expansion and growth, not only from the short term, but also the most important, from the medium to the long term. They will be able to compete in better conditions with the national and international market. We are now in a global economy, so whatever helps we are making to these companies to grow, the better.
Is there somebody new in Hacienda? Because I just thought, because obviously if you get more small businesses, lots of little fish rather than getting a big fish, then you will be able to tax more in the long term. Somebody's got like vision, somebody's got crystal ball vision about, how it's going to work.
Well, thankfully, not always the tax office gives us bad news. No, I think that this is a very positive change in law, which has not been challenged by any other political parties. It is now become law. It will be effective. I hope it remains for the next years, or even improves that. And again, the more facilities we give to small companies to grow, the more big companies we will have in the future. So every little helps whatsoever.
Some comment in here. Greetings, morning cookie. Great news about reduction in tax. However, how are the Spanish government going to make up the deficit?
Good question. Now Pedro Sanchez, with the OTAN and NATO and the European Union, are going to increase the budget for investing in army and defense.
Yeah.
How we are going to cope with that? I don't know. More finance, increasing the tax rates for Spanish individuals on income tax. The great fortunes tax is already there.
Yeah.
Needless to say that although these changes are beneficial for small companies, no doubt that they have already made attempts to increase the tax rates for large companies, making additional taxes for electric companies, for petrol companies, for banks. This famous impuesto a la banca, impuesto a all this nonsense that for this year they have been suspended because they did not get the sufficient votes to approve it. No, and at the end of the day, any increase in taxes for large companies, the ones that we all know, like Telefónica, Movistar, Iberdrola, all the Spanish banks, let's not forget that every increase in taxes that they are going to pay, they are going to transfer it to all the individuals, consumers.
But it's great.
More bank commissions, more fixed rates for electricity bills. So
but it's good news for as we say, small and micro companies. As you know, I now live in the Campo. I drive down every morning, and all you see are the white vans. It's the fontaneros, the electricians, everybody. That is going to make. And if they're not autonomous, if they have their own business,
absolutely,
it's going to make a difference.
And let's not forget there is a reduced corporation tax rate that we have not mentioned because it has been there for many years. But let's not forget that when a person starts a new business activity using a company, subject to certain conditions to meet, the corporation tax rate for the first year and the second, the company makes a profit, the tax rate is 15%, 1-5. You can be a micro company, a small company, medium company, it doesn't matter. If this is the first year that you are in business and make a profit, subject to the several conditions, you pay 15% corporation tax only.
If people want to find out more information, if they want, obviously they think, hang on, I've got a company. I'm now a micro company. I didn't know I was a micro company or a small company. Where can they get in contact with you guys?
Yes, they can phone us at any time, 952-822943, or they can visit our website, spenceclarke.com.
And just to let you know, listeners, as well, check out the blogs on the Spence Clarke, because they are, as somebody who writes myself, they're understandable, they're in English, there is straight talking and a bit of a sense of humor as well, so it's very readable.
Thank you for your words.
Just give me the website one more time, please.
Yes, it's www.spenceclarke.com.
Miguel Angel and Francisco Jose, thank you. Congratulations, you got through your first one. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.